Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Doc Lord Red here. Used to be Master Red Gaming, but I decided to change my name up to fit my Yu-Gi-Oh name. I made a post about that, in case you haven't noticed the post. But anyway, besides all that, I welcome you to my channel. And here today, I'm going to be talking about a few things Yu-Gi-Oh, and as well as my decks. But before I get into talking about my decks, I want to do a special shout out to all of the creative deck builders out there. I'm talking about the ones who work very hard on their decks, building it from scratch, despite what people tell them. They don't copy pasta, or they don't really care about the meta or anything like that. Like, they are really working hard, even taking lots and lots and lots of L's to get their decks to where they want it to be. And I want to give an outstanding salute to people like you. Um, what brought that idea about was I came across a Yu-Gi-Oh video where this guy had created a unique deck, and I made a conversation with him, and he gave me a special thanks for uh, the fact that I'm also a creative deck builder. But I unfortunately forgot his name. Otherwise, I would shout his name out right now on my channel. But yes, but I did tell him I was going to do a special shout out to all of the duelists out there because, quite frankly, we are an underrated breed. So, and the ones I don't really admire too much is the ones who sit up there and have the audacity to say that creative decks do not exist, unique decks don't exist. They speak all this stuff on the Reddit. Yes, this is kind of turning into a rant. They even try to dissuade other people, saying that if you don't follow the meta, you're a loser, that you will never win, which is a complete lie. And they and the ones that copy other people's decks, maybe change a few cards and then claim as their own and claim to everyone or try to shout out to everyone that they are the best duelist. You don't get no respect from me. So unless you really work hard and you really use that brain of yours to really piece together your decks to try to come up with your own flow, your own style, your own way of dueling, then you don't really get much respect from me. Unless you, of course, give special shout outs to decks that I actually use. um, like the ones like Dark Arm Duelist, Cali Effect. Them the main two I really follow because of the fact that I have much respect to those uh, duelists dueling for their dueling content and things of that nature. Um, but yes, but without further ado, uh, I want to go ahead and start to show off the decks. Just really more of a documentary, just to try to show the decks that I have up to this point, season 14, I believe we're in, and try to explain them so far. If I start wheezing like an old man that I am, I apologize. I'm still trying to get over some allergies. I had the excuse me. I had the if you didn't catch it earlier, I had my duelist number up there in case anybody wants to add me or duel me for whatever, just for the sheer fun of it or just to see how I play. Hey, I welcome any and all challenges. Now, let's see. I'm gonna start off with yes. Let me go ahead and show this deck because this is the deck that I used for the Legend Anthology. I'm gonna show this real quick. Okay, so due to the fact that Atlas was banned and Lancer was banned, those are the ones that are missing from this deck. But this is pretty much what I use. Yes, I use absolutely no traps. Yes, but yet I was still winning with it. Um, so go ahead and take a glance on that. Three Shining Black, three Parasite Paranoids, 3 Gold Key, Speed Trooper, Scale Bomber. Excuse me. Sorry if you're also one of those people that seems to get that mental thing where you hear somebody cough, uh, you start to feel sick all of a sudden. Sorry about that. Notice that I had the Scary Moth in there because I think Scary Moth is a nice card. It really messes some people up. Great optimization. Yes, I run 3 for the consistency. 3 at the giant ballpark. I'm not really trying to read off like every single card because I'm pretty sure y'all can at least read titles. I know that's the whole saying that people don't really read cards, but I'm pretty sure you at least read titles of cards. Got my. This is the card that really was winning me duels, right here. This card, this card, this card, and this card. A lot of people don't run Metamorphose Insect Cream because of the fact that she's hard to summon, but she's pretty easy to summon for me. So I got that in there just in case I end up having 2 level 3s. I don't really summon it very much. I usually summon Cicada King. I very rarely summon Malevolent Sin. This is like more so like I just have that one card that's stopping me from victory. It's between victory or defeat. Summon this a lot, summon that a lot, summon that a lot, and this one a lot. So if you want any explanations on it, just let me know down in the comments. But I have the full deck I will be talking about later. But still, if you ever want any explanation on any of these cards, any of these decks, let me know. But I'm probably going to talk about only a few. Yeah, just let me know. But I have, like I said, this is the names of my decks: Archery and Toxicology. I love the way that rolls off. My Eve Sanrum Benim, my Umi Cloudians, my Insect Meteor, and my Nephilim's Revenge. So, but first I'm gonna start off with this one. I'm gonna start with this one, then I'm gonna do the others in order. And the reason why I'm starting off with this one first is because this deck is my pride and joy. This deck is a deck that I started to build back in 2008. Yes, this deck right here has pretty much has been my blood and soul, my blood, sweat, and tears, and all of that. So, with that being said, story time. All right, let me go ahead and show you this one. So like I said, this deck right here, which as I'm talking about it, you can probably pretty much see what I have in here. But yes, this deck right here, I started back in 2008. But it never really started off like this. I didn't really run vampires per se. It started off actually as a 60 deck zombie swarm deck. I actually built zombie swarms before zombie swarms actually became a thing. And I have a pretty good habit of starting trends before it ever gets popular. But of course, nobody ever knows that I've done it, so I don't really get credit. Not that I'm really looking for it. But yes, it started off as a 60 card zombie swarm. And oh boy, did I still get people scared of that deck. And over time, after numerous of L's, of course I got my wins. I finally molded it to what you see before you. So let me go ahead and explain them. I'm pretty sure you can read it, but I'm gonna go ahead and say them anyway. So as you can see, I have my 2 Glow Up Blooms, more so for my level 7s or higher. Usually it's my level 7s or higher, or my level 5s. Actually, more my level 5s. Because not many people run this, so I'm going to explain it. So I have my 2 Glow Blooms, my 2 Vampire Retainers, my 2 Mad Molars, 2 Uni Zombies, which most people run 3. Got my 2 Ash Blossoms, but I just got it in there, get it in there. I have 2 Ghost Sisters, which there's a reason for that. Besides the fact that there is the chance to gain lots of life points, or I said that weird, lots of life points, or to stop an opponent from summoning crazy. There is a Synchro I'm currently waiting on to come out that I'm going to slap into my vampire deck, and it requires a water monster, or a water tuner actually. And it's really going to turn the tide in my zombies. And being it is zombies, it's going to be pretty nice once I'm able to summon it. One vampire ghost, I'm pretty sure some people use more than one. I have one vampire sorceress, which I'm pretty sure hardly anyone really uses it. One Necroworld Banshee, which that's usually all I need. For the simple fact that I'm going to search for Zombie World. I don't really use it too much for the protection effect, because most likely she's going to be banished anyway. One Vampire Grimson, which this card has won me a lot of duels. And I do mean a lot, because a lot of people be trying to destroy my zombies with her on the field, and yeah, they'd be surprised when my zombies are still standing. One Vampire Scarlet, which I thought about running two, but one is good enough. This one for extender. One Red Eye Zombie Dragon, for the simple fact that this is the card that started my whole zombie playstyle. Again, it started out in 2008. This was my ace card, and it still is my ace card. However, I have being that I do have the more upgraded versions, they are also included as my ace monster. Vampire Vamp, for the targetable, strong, beefy monsters that want to run me over. Yeah, charm them and then they become my bitch. Let's see. Got one Jacko Balan, one Doom King, because he is now my bitch now. Vampire Void, one of my favorite vampires as well. One Eldritch Golden Lord. I think I posted. Yeah, I'm missing one monster out of here actually, but that is mainly because I have no room, because if there's a card in here, which I'm pretty sure you can see that I'm actually trying out, which I will explain when I get there. One Monster Reborn, one Ghost Fusion. If you ever, so let me explain this real quick. Ghost Fusion, I have Ghost Fusion in here for the fact of vampires, you burn their lone life points, right? So if I have a level 5 or higher, which usually I can do with having Uni-Zombie on the field, like, because you can use this effect twice, it becomes a level 5, right? So got that as a level 5. Say for instance, I already have Zombie World on the field. I ditch. What I would do is I would ditch this card, send this card to the graveyard, right? Send a vampire card to the graveyard to special summon it. This will cause me to lose 500 life points. Now my opponent's life points, now my life points are lower than my opponent, right? Get the card that I want, like a negate or something, whatever it is, that vampire card that I want to search for, and I will use Ghost Fusion for Eldritch. Because what will happen is, this will be a level 5, so now I can banish Eldritch to get Mad Lord, the Mad Golden Lord. That's how that works. And I can do this on turn 1. Got my Vampire's Desire. Most people only run 1, but I run 2, so that way I can use each effect at least once, or use one of them twice. Because of the fact that this card allows me to also manipulate levels. And say for instance I use Uni-Zombie's effect, maybe I've used it way too much and he's above level 5. So I can ditch a lower level so he could become the level that I want him to be for tuning. One Elixir, just in case I don't get Eldritch to my hand, I can do one or the other. Of course, 3 Zombie Worlds, 1 Vampire's Domain, which I used to run 3 of them because they do stack. Yes, if I heal from 1 and I have all 3 on there, I can heal 3 times. Which was part of my Revenant build. And that's the card I'm missing, is Revenant's Tarantula. 1 Super Poly, I used to run 2. Got my Call by the Grave, not only because of its effect, but come on, it looks like something that's fit for zombies. My favorite trap card, Dark Sacrifice. If they ever try to destroy something through card effect, whether it's monster, spell, trap, whatever, use Dark Sacrifice, and I can send, and most of the time I will either send Glow of Bloom
or Matt Moeller to the graveyard. Um, I mean, I can also send Vampire Ghost or Retainer if I want to. Excuse me. And of course, my Vampire Negate. And then there is my Dragon Necro, my Mad Golden Lord, my Red Eye Zombie Dragon, Necro Dragon. Now this is the card one of the cards I'm trying out. Cyberse Quantum Dragon. And it states, when you control a link monster, monsters your opponent controls cannot target monsters you control for attacks except this one. Also, your opponent cannot target monsters you control with card effects except this one. Once per turn, at the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can return that opponent's monster to the hand. Also, this card can make a second attack in a row. So this is more like for protection, and it kind of helps me out. So yeah, I like it. And if it activates its effect and Doom King gets on the field, I could probably go ahead and get rid of some cards or what have you. So it's synergy. Then I got my Skeletal Dragon Felgrand, which I love to use for a special summon effect. Got the infamous Baronet, and then my Red Eye Zombie Dragon Lord, which is pretty much the heart of the deck. And then I got Danfear Vampire Sheridan, Hope Harbinger, Orcus, got Dengetsu, because he actually, in zombies, he is very deadly. For the simple fact that if he has material on the field, he can protect all of your cards. And then he also has his special summon effect, which does not require material, which you can see, send one card your opponent controls to the graveyard, which is what happens if he's ever special summoned. So if I ever special summon him with Red Eye Zombie Dragon, I'm sending something. Same thing with this card. If I choose this card instead and special summon from the graveyard, I'm banishing something. So it works out. Let's see. I got my Salamangreat Mirage for also for destruction protection. But even though it protects one monster, but again, you know, if a zombie waters the field and Doom King, blasha blasha, its effect goes off, and then not only do I protect them with protect from card effects, but I also get to banish a monster. Vampire Sucker for obvious reasons. Vampire Fascinator, so I could try to push for this card, which is my favorite Unchained card, or Yuki Onna, which with her on the field, it stops the opponent from activating effects that when they are banished, or I don't think they can be banished, right? No, it doesn't stop banishment. It just stops the fact that they can't be activated when banished. So, like I said, story time. So, like I said, this deck is a deck that I made from scratch. A lot of people have looked at this deck and called it trash. Said it's, you know, it's never going to win. Blasha blasha blasha. You know, I've received numerous of hate over this deck, and guess what? I don't care, because I am clapping cheeks with it, and I'm going to continue to clap cheeks with it. So I can tell you what they want to, but I have even beat meta decks with it. They can believe what they want, but they are not going to change my mind. And all it's going to do is continue to get stronger because I put my soul into this freaking deck, like almost literally. Like this deck is the embodiment of my personality, and I feel like that's how decks should be built. It should be based on who a duelist is. Like a lot of people would say, "Oh, you just copying the anime." Well, what's wrong with that? I mean, honestly, the anime, I believe, has a good ideology behind it. Like it has a good idea behind it. I mean, if you're all about winning, that's presented also in the anime. Oh, let me also point out something else that I used to hear a lot. Like people would say that this card, why am I running this card? This card is useless. Blah blah blah. Well, guess what? There's people who play Blue Eyes. You're probably one of them that's listening right now. There's people who play Blue Eyes. Elemental Hero Neos. You got Dark Magician. You got the Jamas. I mean, what about those? I mean, first of all, in order for those decks, those cards to even be good, they require their support because by themselves, they just a vanilla monster, right? So to me, what makes a difference about the fact that I'm running Red Eye Zombie Dragon over someone who's taking pride and joy over a vanilla monster? See that? So that argument is null and void. But anyways, I'm kind of rushing through this because first of all, it's like early in the morning. I just got out of work not too long ago, and I'm really not trying to make this video way too long. And on top of that, I know a lot of people don't really sit here and want to spend a lot of time watching these videos, especially since there's not a lot of boom, pop, pow going on right now. So, like a lot of people, other people's videos. So I'm just going to speed through it. But again, if you ever want a more explanation on these decks, or if you have a particular interest in one of my decks, please feel free to let me know down in the comment section. Alright, so let me go ahead and show you this one. And yes, that is Umi Cloudians, like I said in the beginning. Umi Cloudians. Alright, let me show you this deck. So yes, as you can see, there are Cloudians in this deck. I don't run all of them for valid reasons. But yes, I do run Cloudians in this deck. I was feeling like running Cloudians, and I saw that Kiryu, hey, got an upgrade, so I was like, shoot, let me go ahead and put the two together. So as you can see, I run 2 Smoke Ball, 2 of this one mainly because of the fact that it's a tuner. I have 2 Cloudian Turbulence, so I can get this out because it works from the graveyard or deck. This one, because if you're unfamiliar with this card states when a monster declares an attack, you can negate the attack, and if you do, special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand except Glacial Beast Blizzard Wolf. At the start of the opponent's battle phase, if this card is in your graveyard and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card in attack position but banish it when it leaves the field. Now, the reason why I also run this card is because of a combo, which I will mention once I get to the card. Let me go ahead and wait till I get to the card, but there's a combo that goes with that. Got the Silent Sea Needle for extension. Let your Jellyfish for negates. This one for resurrection. Got my Cloudians Nimbus Man, and there is no way I can tell you how many times people have literally tried to kill this card through battle. Like, they constantly try to run it over, and they're like, why is it not dying? Like, you don't read the card, it can't be destroyed by battle. But some people try to be smart about it and try to turn it to defense, but it don't work. Because in a water deck, there's ways to avoid that. Let's see. So this is one of the cards I added that's new. Legendary Fisherman 2. And I also have Legendary Fisherman 3. Valid reasons. Got the infamous Kiryu Shin. This card makes a lot of people scoop. Because he's pretty much a walking Gozen match, I believe it is. I want to say Gozen match. I may be wrong about my card, but it's the one that pretty much says you only control 1 attribute. Now, Legendary Ocean. This is the card that's part of the combo with Glacial Beast. Because when this card is on the field, all my level 5s become level 4s. You can see where I'm about to go with that. So, when that happens, like say for instance, they attack me, right? And I have Legendary Ocean on the field. I can negate the attack and special summon Kiryu. Or I can special summon Nimbus Man. I think I can special summon him too, right? Yeah. Or I can special summon him. Because they all become level 4s. So it works. I got 3 of them. 3 of the Cloudian Squalls. Because I'm really trying to get them fall counters on there. But one of the things that makes Cloudians... One of the things that made Cloudians bad, which I'm surprised we won a lot back in the day when Cloudians came out. But what sucks about the Cloudians is the fact that they really, really lack in searchability. Like, they don't really have any cards that really searches other Cloudian cards. Like, even besides this one. I believe this is the only Cloudian that actually searches another Cloudian card. But there's also the Zero Stratos. Doesn't search, it just destroys monsters. And then you have Acid, which destroys spells and traps, and I'm pretty sure you notice that these are not in there because, first of all, they're weak. They are super weak, so that means it makes me a very vulnerable target if I do not have a way to generate fall counters. I don't run Storm because it requires me to banish Cloudian to summon it, and then when I use the effect of the Storm, it only puts on 1 counter. Like, why you first of all, why you call Storm Dragon only to put on 1 counter? Like, why you not putting on counters, like one counter on all cards or something. Like work like Cloudian Squall. Like that makes no sense. And I'm gonna banish a Cloudian just for that. Okay. Then you got the Ghost, which is supposed to do Storm Dragon's job, but it has to be destroyed by battle first. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. It's a nice tech, but I'm not gonna do that. Then you have the Poison one, but that one also has to be destroyed by battle. But it doesn't get fall counters. I think that's another one. But then you also have Hurricane, which is not it's a Cloudian monster, but no, is it Hurricane? Typhoon. Typhoon. I'm sorry, Typhoon, but it's not a water. It's a wind. Okay. I think that's all of them. But yeah, not really much searchability even through their spells and traps. They don't really search for other cards. They don't search for fault. That's what's missing out of the deck. So if I wish that if Konami actually upgraded Cloudians and they made it where you can actually search for other Cloudian cards, I believe like getting Cloudian Squall would be nicer because you have a way to search for it, and then on top of that, they don't even have a way to really protect each other. So that's the other issue. So I can see why a lot of people won't really run Cloudians. Let's see. Got the Aquarium stage for the simple fact that their water monsters can be destroyed by battle, so they all pretty much be like a Cloudian. This one keeps them from being targeted by monster effects. I actually wish that it also protects them from spellers and traps, but excuse me. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But it's a nice tech for a second effect, where when a battle is initiated, I can special summon, like say for instance, I use the other stealthy attack, and no, actually what it will work is I will use stealthy. Let me slow down. See Stealth 2, special summon a monster that has Yumi on it, and then because usually what happens after you use that effect, it is destroyed at the end. It says right at the bottom, it's destroyed at the end of the battle phase. Now, a way to save that is if you special summon it from your hand or graveyard, you can use See Stealth attack before the end of the battle phase. Banish it, so at the way when at the end of the turn, it will come back and it will stay. That's what I do with it. Then I have the Icebound God, which most likely I'm going to have 2 or more waters on the field. But it also doesn't really matter whose side of the field, as long as there's 2 waters on the field. So it's just something to keep in mind. But this is my negate. This one is also my negate. Wow, I need to work on my talking here. But yeah, this one's also a negate, but it also is a search. So what happens is, if it's in the graveyard, you can banish it, and you can send a water monster, level 5 or higher water monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can add a water monster from your graveyard to your hand, which clearly it just would allow me to search for anything. I can send any of these, well, level 5 or higher. So any of these, Kyryu, the Legendary Ocean, Nemesis Man, I can send any of those to the graveyard and add it to my hand. Which, if I did that, and I also had this on the field, then I'll be able to special summon it that turn. And of course, See Stealth attack. Now let's go over to my extra deck real quick. Currently, as you can see, I have 14 extra deck monsters. There is the monsters that I was going to put in my zombies is also the card I'm going to put in here. I'm waiting for that to come out. And if you're curious, let me know down in the comment section. I'll tell you eventually. I might just tell you if you ask. This will let me know that you've been paying attention. But yeah, I have the Coral Dragon, Glacial Beast, Iceberg Narwhal, which I've actually had the pleasure to use this once, and I like it. So if you're unfamiliar with it, it says each time another monster you control is destroyed by an opponent's attack or card effect, inflict 600 damage to your opponent. During the battle phase, when your opponent activates a card or effect while you control another monster, you can negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. Nice card. Got the Drag Knight. Oh, I keep calling him Drag Knight, but it's actually Drag Knight. But I keep wanting to call him Drag Knight. That's Pokemon. But that's obvious reasons. Got the Trishula, Got the Ching Ying. Got the other Trishula. Got the Black Ray Lancer. The upgraded version. Hope Woven. This card right here, I usually would really only summon against other water decks, preferably, for the simple fact that and I know I say that a lot, I'm sorry, but this is the way I talk. But Ocean Lord, if Ocean Lord is on the field and I have going against another, and it's a mirror match, Ocean Lord is not going to limit nothing. So, but with this on the field, at least I'll be able to do something more because of the fact they want to use water against me. Obvious reasons for buffing destruction. So yeah, that's my deck. So that's this deck. I was thinking about also running 2 of the Yoroshiros, but I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. So I was supposed to go in order and I didn't. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you this one. This one I just re-edited yesterday. Sorry. So in this deck, Archfiend Toxicology, this is actually a magical labyrinth deck. Yes, magical musketeers and labyrinth. I'm pretty sure you're gonna see a little bit of others on YouTube. I just saw one of them. He made it about 5 months ago, and there was another one that was made about 3 months ago. But neither one of them are anything like my deck. So let me go ahead and go over it. Excuse me. So I got 3. As you can see, I got 3 labyrinth Ku Klux. Because with this on the field and I have a labyrinth monster, this would allow me to activate a trap card that is capable of activating without going into battle phase or anything like that right on the spot. So why not, right? I got 2 Stovey Torbys. Of course, on Edo, I only have 1 for the simple fact that I run the other lady. The other upgraded mommy milkers, but being that she's not in here, I run 2 of these, which is really still a nice tech. 3 magical musketeer Caspers. One of the best cards because he searches for the spells and traps when a spell or trap is activated in the same column as he's in, and it goes on either side, whether it's you or your opponent. So a good way to run him is to place him when summoning him, to summon him. If you have to summon him, whether it's normal summon or special summon, it's better to summon him in spots where the opponent will also activate spells or traps, so the way you can get his trigger off, so you can trigger him off. This is also assuming that you're unfamiliar with Magical Musketeer. If you are, you probably already doing that. 3 Starfire, which I didn't see anybody else really running her. I only saw him really running this card. But 3 Starfire, so you can special summon the other Magical Musketeers from the deck. I have 1 Musketeer Wild for spells or trap recycles for the Magical Musketeer. I run 3 Arianas. I do not run the other one for this, because I really didn't use it much. So, and usually this is pretty much all I need. 1 Chaos Hunter. One's running 2 until I got my new Magical Musketeer. I run 2 Labyrinth Archfiends, which most people either run this at 0 or 1. I like running it at 2 because being that he gets stronger off of trap cards, that allows me to get 2 beefy knights on the field. I don't think his effect works anything like what's his name? Marauding Captain. I think Marauding Captain, Crimson Knight, cards like that, old cards like that, where if you have 2 copies of the same card on the field, I think that's even an insect monster that does it too. If you have 2 copies of the same card on the field, they cannot attack you. So, and I thought that this would work because it says your opponent's monsters cannot target fiend monsters for attack except Labyrinth Archfiend. But if you have 2 of them, I thought it would stop that. But I guess because of the fact that it says it by name, it doesn't stop it. So, whatever. So this is one of the new cards I added. Magical Mastermind. So says when you contribute summon this card face up by tributing 1 magical monster During either player's turn, you can activate magical musket spells trap cards from your hand once per turn. During your opponent's end phase, you can draw cards equal to the number of magical musket spells or trap cards you activated this turn while this card was facing upon the field. So clearly this is mainly for draw power if I'm able to. All I gotta do is activate spells and trap cards. Magical musket spells and trap cards while this card is on the field, and I get some draw power. 3 Lamy Milkers. Some people ran it at 1. I run this at 3 because there's nothing more annoying than seeing this card pop up numerous of times after they already killed it. And trust, I've made people scoop off of that. So as you can see, I don't run that many spells. Run 3 Labyrinths because it's my favorite, one of my favorite field cards in the deck. And why not run 3? Because that's extra destruction, special summoning from the graveyard, kill the hand. Why not? Run this for negate. It also brings the opponent's monsters, the targeted monsters attack down to 0 and defense down to 0. So yeah, it's a nice bonus. 1 magical cylinder for infliction, secret barrel for affliction. This one to bring the attack non-targeting, debuffing. This one to recycle your cards, and being it as it is a normal trap, you can use it numerous of times, especially with Mommy Milkers. This one for face-up destruction, which you have to be careful with this card because I can't tell you how many times I've accidentally activated this card and tried to destroy it face down. It's for face-ups, so be sure to note that. Here's my favorite trap card in here because it's a normal, which stops destruction. So if they want to like lightning Regeki, try to do lightning storm or anything like that, yeah, we stopping that. Even DPE, we stopping that. So unfortunately, it won't get rid of DPE or anything like that. It just negates. But I could send I would send like Torby to the graveyard because if you activate a normal trap card, you can special summon him from the grave. This one for hand traps mainly, but also for infliction. Got the Welcome Labyrinth because it's a must. Fair Welcome Labyrinth because it's a must, and this is a must. Which this one can be troublesome if you don't have a fiend on the field, or you just so happen to go against something like Zombie World or something, like you're in trouble with this card. So, matter of fact, if you're going in Zombie World, you pull this card, use it as a discard. Use it as discard material. That's what I would do, like with Torby, or I think with Torby. Yeah, use it with Torby as a discard. That's what I would do. And with this, running Masquerade, Burner Visor, because this one says once per turn you can target either one face-up monster you control, equip this card to that target, or unequip it and special summon in attack position. The equipped monster can attack your opponent directly. When the equipped monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can discard 1 card, inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent. But this is real good. Honestly, I will put this on. There's a reason for this. I'm about to show you. So, got Bagusa for a little bit of stalling, and here's part of the combo right here: Raiders Knight and Arc Rebellion. You already know where I'm going with that, right? So if I'm able to summon Arc Rebellion, which unfortunately in this deck you will only be able to use 2 copies of Ariana, because I don't have in this deck there is no other level 4 dark monsters. This is the only one, so you will have to have 2 copies of Ariana on the field to summon Raiders Knight, and then you use Raiders Knight to get Arc Rebellion. Now if you're able to get Arc Rebellion on the field as well as Burner Visor, you could Burner Visor to Arc Rebellion, and then when you use this effect to negate, you're able to attack directly with all his might. Like even if they have monsters on the field, like this would be a great combo. Like you attack with all his might directly. So there's that. That's why I got it in there. 1 Hope Harbinger, 1 got my Dengetsu, 1 Lee Karibo, 1 Magical Musketeer Max, which is this is actually a pretty good card. I didn't think it would be that good, but it's actually not that bad. Excuse me. It's not that bad, and it only requires one magical musket monster to summon it. It doesn't matter about its level, as long as it's level 8 or lower, and that's all I have in there anyway. Nightmare Phoenix, got the barricade board blocker. Uh, this one should pretty much just an experiment monster. You don't have to run it. And it says when another monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can change the attack target to this card and perform damage calculation. When this card is destroyed by battle with an opponent's monster, you can destroy that opponent's monster, and if you do, gain life points equal to half the opponent's monster's original attack. Yeah, but until I find a better fiend, I'm running this in here, but I'm probably most likely going to replace it. Decode Talker, my Unchained Abomination, and Underworld Closer. I think I also only run this. I think I was also only running this for. No, I wasn't. Okay, but anyway, that's my Archfiend Toxicology. The basis of this deck is not only a magical Musketeer Labyrinth deck, but as you can see, it's all supposed to burn. The idea came from the fact that I noticed that I wasn't doing much burn damage, so I decided to switch up the deck and add some burn effects to it. And I actually grown to like it. I might add more to it, but I'm not sure just yet. But so far, I like what I have so far. If you have any other ideas, feel free to let me know down in the comment section. Alright, we got 2 more decks, and then I'm going to go ahead and call it with this one. Alright, so this is the full deck. Yes, again, I still don't run the trap cards. But this one I think is now running Uru. I don't think the other one was running Uru. But this one's running Uru, and I also have my 2 Atlas and my Lancer. And again, I can't tell you enough how many times I made people scoop with this deck. Summoning this, use that to summon this. Most people wouldn't do that, but I do. Because this card, first of all, for the first 2 turns, is unaffected by everything. Everything? Everything. It is unaffected by everything. For 2 whole turns. So when you summon them, you pretty much have 2 turns to clap them cheeks. And with this card, it does buy you some time as far as destruction. Because if you summon this normally after those 2 turns, it could pretty much be destroyed by any card effect. Okay, but with this, it won't be. It'll still be able to remain on the field, and it'll be a 4,000 beat stick that pierces. So again, you have 2 full turns to really take the full advantage of summoning this with greater polymerization. However, the problem I've been facing so far is that when I summon this card, because of the fact that it does take 4 insect monsters to summon, which, by the way, you can use tokens. Let me move over to it. Tokens to summon it. You don't have to use your other monsters. You can use tokens, which is the cool part. Or you could probably use. I would use them to them or this one as part of the material. Because if you use this as part of the material, you can use it to get your Parasite Paranoid, just in case you ever be attacked. Which I was about to get to. When I summon him by himself, chances are, if I don't have no protection whatsoever, he's gonna get ran over. And he's numerous of times he's been ran over and I lost because in fact he was my only monster on the field. Even though he was beefy as hell and he couldn't be destroyed, but he could still be ran over. But at least if I have Parasite Paranoid and the opponent's monster can be at least targeted, I can stop them from running him over. Okay, so if you use Goki Poli, this will have it where if you use it as material from the whether it's hand or field, you'll be able to special summon Shiny Black Sea, so it'll be Shiny Black Sea as well as this card on the field. Or if you use this one as part of the material from the field, then this would allow you to go for Mighty Neptune, you can go for the Queen, you can go for the Lancer, because I think it's only level 5 or higher, right? Or Scary Moth, and if you have a way to get it to the graveyard, You can special summon it after doing battle, like attack with Ultimate B Trooper at the end of the battle phase. Scary Moth. So, and especially if you have Scary Moth on the field as well as the Queen, yeah, you're not getting rid of them that easily. You'll have to pretty much run this one over, and but then after they run it over, main phase 2, they probably try to do everything they can, but by then, no, you know what? That wouldn't even work because at the end of the battle phase, they try to go into main phase 2 to special summon it after running this over. Hercules will bring it right back, so that won't work. But anyways, so you got, like I said, you got the B Troopers Descent, 3,000 attack. If you have a monster that's 3,000 or more attack, Atlas or Atlas, Hercules, or a monster that you beefed up with Neptune. Which, by the way, if you have 2 of these on the field, if you have both of them on the field, both of them activate. So you can have a monster gain 2,000 attack per turn if you pick the same one. Like Uru. Yeah. Uru or the Queen. Or you can beef him up so you can put him in attack mode and he won't be so easy to run over, but that's your call. Because it's 2,000 with him, they'll make him 38. 2,000 with that one, 48. This one right here, 5,000 direct. So, World Legacy, Secession, the special summon for those extender combos, so I can go into Atlas first turn. And this, if you use a normal monster, especially if you use it even with certain Atlas, granted, this effect won't really work during the first 2 turns, but if you, after the 2 turns, if they are still standing, and you use the normal monster or a token to summon Hercules, then this effect will work. And if you are unfamiliar with this card, it says if you normal or special summon a non-token normal monster, which by the way you can summon a normal monster using Hercules, which you will actually get this effect, you can draw 1 card. When an attack is declared involving an opponent's monster and the monster's level involving an opponent's monster and the monster you control that is level 5 or higher, normal monster, or was ritual summoned using a normal monster, fusion, synchro, or sea summon using a normal monster as material, you can make that monster you control gain attack equal to that opponent's monster's attack until the end of the turn. Again, after the 2 turns, he gains his ability and he pierces if you summon with that. Yeah. So that's why I added it in here. Again, this is all my decks. I'm going to repeat. All of my decks I have made from scratch. I had no copy pasta whatsoever. And I couldn't do it even if I wanted to, because a lot of these people's decks that I look at, it does not work with my playstyle whatsoever. So I prefer to make decks that is according to my playstyle. Now I could add some trap cards in here, but it's not, to me, that's not a whole lot of good insect type trap cards out there. It really isn't. So that's why I don't really run it. And yeah, so, and I like to keep my back row free with this deck. So we got the Cocoon Ultra Evolution, which I wish this card was searchable through the insects that I'm using, but it isn't. But I really wish it was. So anyways, like I said, I got the 2 Hercules, still got the Giga Brilliant, Cicada King, got the Malevolent Sin, Pico Felina, got the Shinobi Insect, this, the Armor Horn, Seraphim Papillon, and Giant Bee Trooper Invincible Atlas. And whenever you use Neptune, don't put it on Atlas. That's a no-no, because his effects benefits from him being 3,000 or less. Do not put it on Atlas. Okay? Like, if he ever uses his effect to beef up, let him get beefed up through his own effect. Do not use it on Atlas. Because then otherwise he's going to be susceptible to destruction effects unless you have the Queen on the field. Honestly, that would be the only reason I would put it on Atlas, is because of the Queen. Because the Queen will protect him. Yeah, the Queen will protect it, and most people don't read this card because it's a wall of text. One more thing before I get to the last deck. With this one, if you've been listening this entire time, listening to me ramble this entire time, I mentioned that there was a card in here that I used to run, and that's Revenant's Tarantula. Now, a lot of people would not run Revenant's Tarantula in a vampire deck. I don't know why. I mean, even though I'm currently not running it, only because I'm testing out this card right here. But I will, if this card does not serve its purpose all too well from in the next few duels or so, I'm most likely going to take him out and I'll put him in a different deck, and I'm going to put Revenants back in. Why? Because of the fact that this Revenants in a vampire deck is nasty. If you have vampires with Vampire's Domain, whenever you inflict that battle damage, you gain life points, right? Revenant's Tarantula states you gain attack points based on the difference between your life points and your opponent's. It does not matter if your life points are higher or lower. Granted, I would suggest that it be higher, but if yours is lower, it could be a clutch move. But once you summon the Revenant's Tarantula, it beats up all of your monsters. All of them based on that difference. So if your life points are higher, at the time I was running in this deck Vampire's Domain 3 times. So at one point I did have all 3 with Revenant's Tarantula on the field and Vampires with Grimson on the field. So every time I did damage, I would gain, like with this one. You know, no, I'm gonna use this because it's easier numbers. So if I smack you with a full 2,000, right, I'm gaining 6,000 life points, which means all of my monsters are going to gain 6,000 attack off of one attack. So chances are, if I'm getting the next one full blow, that's pretty much game after that. Alright. So yeah, that's why I did it like that. And sure, you can go ahead and try to destroy my monsters, but if you want to, through card effect. But if I have Grimson on the field and I'm beefing up that much life points, me spending 3, 4, 5,000 whatever life points is not going to make a difference. It's not going to make any kind of a difference whatsoever. You know, I'm just going to laugh at you and be like, is that all? So yeah. So let me go ahead and do this last one because I'm actually approaching an hour, and that's really all I really wanted to spend in this, because just in case, you know, people don't really watch this whole hour. But if you watch the whole hour all the way to the end, let me know down in the comment section, and maybe I might give you a shout out in the next video. You know, which I already know at least 2 people I know is going to watch all the way to the end. So y'all already a gamer. Y'all know who you are. So don't even try to be like that, okay? But this is my last one, Nephilim's Revenge. This one's basically a Dark Lord Despia, branded Despia. I mean a branded Dark Lord deck. But I actually built this deck before it got popular. Once again, like I said at the beginning of the video, I have a habit of creating decks before they become popular, and once they become popular, it pretty much kind of ruins it for me, because not everybody is exploiting the strategy, which is what annoys me actually in the current meta and then all that stuff. It's like, because of the fact that so much copy pasta, I'm honestly really sick and tired of seeing the same decks over and over and over again. You know, it's really annoying, and quite a bit of them I have noticed, especially here on Master Duel, it's the exact same build, and I'm like, are you serious right now? Yeah, this is probably the reason why people be talking about, oh, there's no creativity. Whatever you build is probably already built already. It's because there's no creativity. People don't want to create nothing, you know. Except the ones that I shouted out to. You know who you are. That I shouted at the beginning of the video. There's people like you who are the real MVPs, the underdogs of Yu-Gi-Oh. So, but if you're still creating decks and you're still doing your thing, hey, keep it going. We need more people like you, okay? I just want to give you that. I just want to let you know that. All right, we need more people like you. We need to go ahead. We need to show people that we exist out here, for real. But anyways, so this one is 2 Fallen of Albaz, 2 Capricious Dark Lord. I like her for her nerfing effect. Most people say it's not really good, but hey, if you got a bunch of fairies on the field and you got her on the field, this card can actually kind of save you if you're about to get beaten by battle damage. But you can use it for the tribute effect, but I don't use it that much. 2 Indulge Dark Lord. I mean 3. Wow, I can't count. 3 Indulge Dark Lord. Which, by the way, I've been working really and when season 1 and 2, I was working really hard to try to make this whole deck shiny. But after a while, I just gave up because trying to make these things shiny is expensive. It really is, and I've told Konami I really wish y'all had an ability or something like y'all that got in Duel Links where you can take a card and just spend a few points and upgrade it to what you to the rarity that you want. Um, Two Alubers, one Archer Christia, which I can first turn this card. Um, but I'll show you how I do it in a minute because I'm almost out of time. One Dark Lord Superbia, one Dark Lord Nurgle, which most people don't really run, but I like him for the fact that he makes all my fairies pierce. Yeah. Dramaturge, all I need is one. I got 3 Dark Lord Ichells, or Ixshells, 2 Morning Stars, one really, I got 2 of them in here. Most people will run it at 1 or none, but I got 1 in here for the fusion, or just in case they destroy 1, I got it for 2, or I can use one of them. I can use one of them for the fusion, and the other one to tribute summon, so I can swarm the field with Dark Lords. Um, but yes, 1 Monster Reborn, 3 Banishment of the Dark Lords, 3 Dark Lord Contacts, because of course we need those Dark Lord spell cards, even though they're recyclable, but hey, you can never have enough of them. 3 Greater Polymerizations, because you can clearly see what I have down at in the extra deck that isn't necessary evil. 2 Branded Fusions, 3 Despia, Theater of the Branded, which people love to get rid of this card, waste their spells and traps to get rid of this card. Got 2 Dark Lord, Sanctified Dark Lords for the negates, and this one for the also the quote unquote super poly effect. So technically I have yeah, I basically have 3 polymerizations, 2 super polys in the form of a trap card. Granted, I could also run super poly in here, but not everybody runs the materials that I want, which is why I have it in the trap card. At least this doesn't require me to discard, I don't think. Yeah, this doesn't require me to discard. Super poly requires you to discard. So it could be a neg. So I got 1 summon Venom, Albion, which with this card, if you summon Albion, I think it's this one. Yeah. If you choose to summon Albion, the best thing to do to summon Albion is to use him as material. Because what can happen is you can summon Albion, send this to the grave, right? You will have Albion, and if you still have enough fusion material, like at least 3 more dark fairies, you'll have this in the grave, this on the field, and this on the field, special summon through Greater Poly. Main phase, then at your opponent's turn, at the end of your turn 1, your opponent's turn, activate this effect, Superbia. They scoop. Yeah. So it is hilarious when that happens. So, and then even with my Lucy, especially, I constantly bring that back, recycle that card. So, anyways, let me continue because I'm almost out of time. Got 1 of this card, the Despian Quaritus, Masquerade, the Blazing Dragon, Mirror Jade, which I usually first turn through Rebellion, because why not? Because then, you know, if I use this effect to send to the graveyard, actually, you know, there's a card that I'm actually also missing too. Y'all know it ain't right here. So if you ever use Mirror Jade, you can send that to the graveyard. If you're not going against dragons, you can get your fusion cards to your hand. I think it even brings Greater Poly to your hand too, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's nice. And then I got this one, which this is a nice card. It's a good card to at least use for Greater Poly if you already went through your first Dark Lords, but it's not as good as good old Lucy. Yeah. And I got one, like this one I got 2 different versions, which only because of the fact that I haven't got 2 royal finishes. But I usually, if I do a Greater Poly, I summon this one, and if I don't summon it through Greater Poly, like through the field card or through this or something, then I use that version. It pretty much tells me what's what. It's kind of like just pretty much a marketing tactic. Got my Hope Harbinger, Digritsu, Revenus Tarantula, because I do have level 10s, which I already explained that earlier, why I run it. And Condemned Dark Lord, which I don't summon very much. I don't summon her very much at all. Like, even if I do, she don't really stay. So, but anyways, that's my deck so far up to this point, mainly for documentary reasons. If you watch the whole video from beginning to end, I really do appreciate your time because you really didn't have to give me that, but you did. You stayed. You listened to my banter, my nonsense, talking, and about all of my ums. But you stayed, and I really do appreciate you for that. So, if you can continue to support me, I really would also appreciate that too, because I really am trying to put out more videos and stuff like that. But I need your help for that. I really do. So, yeah, giving me feedback and all that stuff, because it's been hard trying to motivate myself to keep going. But I really am trying with the small support group that I do have, so I can try to keep talking about this stuff. So, and I really, really love playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So, yeah. But anyways, that's it. That's all I have for today. Here's my number again, my ID number if you wish to add me, my name as well. And looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Till then, stay safe. Have a great day. And keep your head up and keep your spirits up, because things are getting harder these days. These are getting more ridiculous. But hey, don't fall into the distractions. Just keep doing your thing, keep doing your grind, and stay positive, and everything is going to be all right. And if you need somebody to listen to or talk to or anything like that, I'm here. Just hit me up. I'm only a text away. All right. Until then, take care. Love you guys.